even with the merger, what sanitation and water resources minister could do, local government will say that it's my function. No, it's not my function. Now you have been giving your real functions to do. The water, Western Housing, he has taken over the water part of the sanitation ministry. So it's half of the sanitation, water and sanitation, that has come back to local government. Because sanitation is municipal function. By water is Western Housing function. So that's been divided, go there. And that is what used to exist. How Ministry of Water, Western Housing. Is that not what used to exist?
That's what we used to.
And one man used to do this effectively. But even local government, when they took their functions and their resources from them, they gave them 4 ministers to do what? A substantive minister, deputy minister for this, a minister of state for this, and deputy minister for this, to do what? So don't think governance can be reduced to that aspect where you think it's just job for the boys. If governance is reduced to job for the boys, what will the ministers do?
Okay, all right.
So clearly, it is not a big ministry as people used to. This is what former ministers used to do.
Okay.
And the fact that we have oil, we are an oil-producing country, does not mean we should spend on just governance, on democracy. And let me tell you, me sitting here as a young man, now I'm old, excuse me to say.
You still look young. Yeah, maybe young at heart.
Sitting here as a young and old.
Yes.
Sitting here as a young minister, I've seen the various the governance styles of the previous government. And clearly, President Mama himself, now everywhere I see him, I've been clapping.
Why?
Because even he himself has learned from the mistakes of the previous listen. So Ghana is blessed to have him now. And what he's doing, he understands it now. So when you come back to my ministry, what does it stand for? The chiefs who used to be development agents, when their functions were taken from them from Nkrumah's time to the previous time, it's like the chiefs now became just pouring of libation and ushering politicians to come and rain praises on them. That is not the role of a chief. If you go to the chieftaincy, houses of chiefs now, you could see that we have lawyers, surveyors, accountants, engineers, judges.
We have judges,
So why don't you give them room to operate? Give them the responsibility to also be the development agents that they used to be. So now with this ministry, our chiefs are also now going to assume responsibility as agents of development within their jurisdictions. And clearly, this is a welcome news to the chiefs. Then our pastors, if you go to the universities, the PhD, we have bishop, apostle, doctor, apostle, professor, apostle, bishop. Then you said that they should not take part in development. When Philip Kweku was taken in 1865 to UK, to Europe to go and train, when he came, go and see, most of those schools that we have were Philip Kweku. Kwachiagri, the same. So missionaries were responsible for our development and relief agencies that you have now. Why don't you let the domestic chief pastors now also perform that same role? Then you said that they should just remain at the pulpit, preach and go home, preach and take collection and go home. No.
So they also play a role in our development.
They are also agents of development. So, you know, culture, religion is part of culture. And culture is responsible for development. Culture can be progressive and regressive. And if you have a progressive and dynamic culture, you can develop faster. So religion, the pastors and the chiefs who are custodians of our spiritual and religious culture are now going to be at the forefront of our development with the modern governance representatives.
But when it comes to religion, you're not only centering on Christianity and Islam, are you?
When we talk of, that's why I say culture. And say religion is part of culture. And you know, before the white man came, our forefathers were here. And they have their way of talking to God. So there is no way me sitting here as a Christian will say that I'm an elder. And then thank God I'm from a Christian home and a Muslim home. So me serving as I understand both, I live with them, so the tolerance is there. In the same way, I'm from a traditional home So those things I understand them better. So there's no way we over concentrate on one and leave the others.
Okay, all right. In the NDC manifesto, you talked about paying assembly members, and then in the 2025 budget, the finance minister announced 100 million cedis for the payments of these assembly members. What's the rationale behind paying assembly members?
Yes, you know, when we started with Parliament, MPs were not even paid salaries. But now with time, MPs are paid salaries, MPs are paid gratuities, MPs are conditions of service have changed. But we started with the assemblyman. Why are we leaving them behind? Development must be bottom up. Every policy that we initiate in Parliament, legislation, everything, it must be bottom up. But legislation should be geared towards changing culture, and law, making law should be geared towards bringing some kind of behavioral change. And before you be able to change behavior, you need to know what the behavior is. It must be from the bottom to up. Everything, even our budgeting, the budget that we pass in Parliament, originate from the Assembly Unit Committee, Assembly members, Area Council, then to the District Assembly, to the regional, then to the Minister of Finance, before they bring it to us, to Parliament as a budget. So why do you marginalize it?
It's a process most people are not aware of. It actually comes from the ground there.
From the ground,
it gets to the ministry.
It's bottom up. So we sit here, the final, this thing is, so Parliament is the Parliament, we are the powers of the keepers of the purse. The purse originate from the grassroots. And therefore, now, what we are going to do is to make sure that we empower the assembly members. And my brother, to be honest with you, if you go to most of the rural areas, the work, the quantum of work assembly members do, voluntary work, no wonder most of them end up being members of Parliament. And anyway, one of their functions is to become a training ground for future politicians. And most of them leave it. President Mama was a former assembly member. Asidun Getia was a former assembly member. Yarega was former assembly member. Afenyo Makin was former assembly member. Paco Sindun former assembly member. So most assembly members who worked well ended up becoming members of Parliament. That doesn't mean that they must. It is not all of them who also can become members of Parliament. So we've realized that no, the kind of work they are doing, they need to be motivated. But if you say you are going to make the assemblies very vibrant, they must be motivated. And motivation is part of the injectors for making sure that productivity increases. What are they going to do? They are now going to be the royal representative of their electoral areas. They are now going to be organizing town halls and debates in their electoral areas. They are now going to be reporting from the assembly meetings back to their electoral areas. They are now going to make sure that they hold DCs accountable, just as the central government also hold the MP, the Central National Assembly hold the central government responsible. This work is going to be done effectively. Sometimes, some DCs don't even regard assembly members. And sometimes we deceive ourselves. The assembly members themselves don't do the work. So they sit down. When it is time for us to go and assess them, they call one or two assembly members, then write the report and let them sign. Who are you deceiving? Who do you think you are deceiving? The essence of assembly meetings is to make sure that we bring our concerns, grievances, and everything, what we need to be part of the... So if you don't call assembly meeting, and meanwhile, quarterly, you are supposed to call assembly meeting, and you don't call the assembly meeting, and central government, ministry or local government say, we are coming to check you. Then you call, before 1 week, you call one people or two people assembly meeting, then you write the report, and they sign that you had assembly meeting. We didn't know. We come, the minutes will be there, we take that. Who are you deceiving? So it's like, we are not taking our governance system serious. And when government becomes a ritual, it means development will be stagnated or be retrogressing. But we want to be practical and sincere with ourselves. And that is why the essence of the measure is to make sure we are responsible and accountable. The chief who owns and is the custodian of the territory, of the land, will be interested in making sure he sees real development. And while the chieftaincy institution is part of the assembly, even though even though secularly it used to be, if you read the Act 936, the chieftaincy is part of the departments of the assembly. But we're not using it. But now that I sit here as the minister responsible for chieftaincy, and Religious Affairs. The DC regional minister is regional minister for Chieftaincy. Look at Regional Coordinating Council, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. Then the DCE is the District Chief Executive for Local Government, Chieftaincy and Religious Affairs. We are all wearing 3 hats. So everywhere the chiefs belong, everywhere the pastors belong. So when we bring your common fund to you, the chief will be aware that President Mama has brought first quarter District Assembly Common Fund. This portion is for persons with disability. This portion is for our development. And that it is going to deepen the probity and accountability that ex-President Rawlings used to preach is coming back.
All right. So, within the assembly members, we have the assemblyman, the unit committee members. So this payment, who is it going to take care of?
It's going to the assembly members.
Including the unit committee
all members. The 9,050 assembly members are going to be.
Okay, including the unit committee members.
9,080.
Including the unit committee members.
The unit, in fact, we said assembly members. We've not mentioned unit committee members yet.
Okay.
And we don't want the thing to be so convoluted to the point that it will be polluted.
Okay.
When MPs were being paid, assembly members were not being paid. When DCs were being paid, assembly members were not being paid. So if now we say we are going to give allowances to assembly members, in the whole country, we have 9,080 assembly members, comprising of 6,272 elected and 2,813 appointed. So both the appointed assembly members, who are the 30% government appointee, the 2,813, and the elected assembly members, who are 6,272, elected in all the 35,000 electoral areas. These are the people who are going to benefit from the 100 million that has been given.
Okay.
So my explanation for now, my explanation does not include unit committee, area council. No.
Okay, but you don't think that would be a sort of demotivation for those?
Are we not progressing from the central government to the MPs to the? We are progressing. Yeah. So definitely, they will be affected, but not now. Not now.
Okay.
But for these 4 years, the budgeting is for assembly members. We've budgeted for the assembly members for the 4 years. So this year is 100 million that's gone there.
Yes.
Has been budgeted, but the real payment is going to be 81,700.
Okay.
81 million 700,000. 81.7. Then in 2026 it will be 116 million. In 2027 it will be 124 million. In 2028, it will be 131 million.
Because the assembly
that is the projections we have.
The assembly members keep increasing.
Precise. As population increase, you must provide beyond the numbers increasing, the quantum may also increase.
Yes.
But for now, it's 1,000 cedis per assembly member per month. So for the first quarter, it will be 3,000. Second quarter, 3,000. Third quarter, 3,000. Fourth quarter, 3,000, making 12,000 for one assembly for the year.
All right. And when is the payment expected to start?
The budget has not yet been approved. The proposal is for Parliament to discuss. Once Parliament give the green light and the budget is accepted, and this budget is from 1st April to 31st December. So that's why I said that the 100 million, we are going to spend 81 point something million for the first, for the 9 months remaining. Then we go to the next year.
And it's your ministry that will handle the payment?
Clearly, it's the ministry. It's in our ministry's budget, so we should be responsible.
All right. What's happening in the MMDC fund? Because as we speak now, we don't have MMDC. I know there are vetting going on and all that. What's happening to that gap in there? And what's the update on the
brother? We've done well. It has never happened that if you check the appointment of DCs, it's always start from May, June.
Yes.
May, June.
I think usually.
But we don't. Even the last administration spent 9 months. They took it up to September. We don't want to cross March.
Okay.
And therefore, we don't want to cross March. We want to finish everything in this March. And clearly, as I speak to you, we roll out 4-stage approach. And the 4-stage approach was the regional, every constituency let people who want to be DCs write their names and send to the region. Every region, constitute a regional vetting committee to shortlist 3 lists and bring them to Accra. When they brought the 3 lists from every constituency, from the region,
in the regions,
representing every constituency, then we took it and gave it to Global Info Analytics. Go and on the quiet.
Okay.
Go and do your research. You want to know suitability of this candidate by the people. And in your investigation, interview both MPP and NDC.
Okay.
So that we know how suitable the candidates are going to be. Then the same list we gave it to the Bureau of National Investigation, NIB. You to go and do your investigation on this and give her the suitability, independent of Global Info. Then that is the 3 approaches: regional, Global Info, NIB. Then we form the final barrier, and that should be a barrier of a non-bribable team. A team that you cannot approach them with any bribe.
Okay.
You know, even me, there were people who were approaching me. Every friend of mine thought, once Ahmed is there, I'm going to be DC.
Oh, so they were approaching you to help them become DCs?
Everybody. People lobbying from left, right, center. And I said, that is not...
Did they try to bribe you?
For bribery, I will not go there. But I'm telling you that as for people, everybody will use the opportunity that they have. So I needed to insulate myself and build edges around myself. And that is what called for the final leg. You know, I've been coming here. So you call me, oh, my brother, as for Ahmed, I know him. Oh, my brother, can you consider this name? We don't consider DCs like that, though. But the person you are appointing is going to be the president rep, not man rep. He's going to represent the president. So you must be mindful of the caliber. One, the person will also be the chairman of the DISEC. The person is going to be the interface between the chieftaincy, House of Chiefs, and the president. The person is also going to be having meetings with our religious bodies. So you bring the suitability of the candidate mean that a person accepted by the people within that district. So it is not a person who is close to Ahmed or who Ahmed likes. So we decided to bring the presidential advisor on governance.
Before we even get there, when the Global Info Analytics and then the NIB did their job, what was the outcome?
The outcome is part of what we are using for the regional vetting.
What does it mean that everybody was actually accepted by the people?
Oh, no. They awarded marks.
Okay.
They are just as they were doing the opinion poll between Mama and Baumia and those things, and people were saying, "Oh, Musa Dankwa, what is this? Oh, this bullshit." The Global Info Analytics, I'm telling you, in February 2024, when they met us, we NDC leadership, we invited them to let us know our standing. And this was far back February 2013. And when they met us in February 2013, they told us the NDC was going to win 2024.
Okay.
NDC, we met in Vota Serene Hotel. And they told us NDC was going to win 179 MPs. I said, wow, how are we going to win 179? Some of us were doubting it, to be honest with you. And they gave us the statistics that if you work, if you go the way you are going, if all things stand the same, you are going to get no less than 179 MPs.
Okay. So you actually knew the outcome.
February 2024. That's 8 months to the elections. And they told you that you are going to win 10 months to the elections, that you are going to win 179 seats. And they gave us the list and the polls, the results. And they said President Mama was going to win by 50, at that time 58%.
Oh, okay.
So if what was the percentage of President Mama? It wasn't not 58 or 54. No, 58, 54. It's not the same thing. Then 179, was it not 184?
Well, yeah.
183 plus or minus 6. So such a person. So me, when MPP doubted in so when we were going to ascend off another opinion poll, he contracted it and brought it. Let me tell you the truth. Don't joke with Musa Dankwa's opinion poll.
Okay.
So it made me as a minister, I believe, this was a credible resource that made us win this resource, even though some people doubted it. Now I'm a minister, I want to know the credible candidates, suitable candidates in order.
All right. So those who fell below, what happened to them? Did you change them?
You are going to choose one out of the three.
Okay.
Is that not the case?
Yeah.
So after Musa Dankwa has brought the results and say you are number one of the people's favorite, what is your math? Maybe you got 53%. Number two, maybe he got 43%. Meaning number three and number two and number one, whichever get it, depending on the capacity.
Yeah.
So Musa Dankwa didn't check the capacity. He checked opinion polls.
Okay.
So you also need to check the capacity. You can be number one, but maybe when it comes to capacity, the second person may have the capacity more than you.
Yeah.
But it tells you that the suitability is that first, this is in order of merit. If first person get it, fine. Second person get it, fine. Third person so now there must be in-person facial vetting. Fifi Kwete is the chief executive of our party. Yes. He went around the whole country to campaign. So he knows the dynamics of the constituencies. Ase Dunketia is the national chairman of the party. He went around, he's been a general secretary for 17 years, national chairman for this. So he also he went around, he knows the constituency, and in some cases knows the people facially. Then Dr. Valerie Soya is the presidential advisor on governance. The president also went around the whole country. So you need to bring this interface. Then Colin Dada has been in parliament for 8 terms. That's about 30-something years now. Honorable Emmanuel Kwesi Bejira is the chairman of the regional caucuses of all the 16 regions in parliament. Honorable Namo Molate was the president of the NALAC in Ghana. National Association of Local Government. So we brought this 7-member committee. Cletus Abuka was the former majority leader. He's been in parliament for 24 years. So we brought 3 people from parliament, one former MP, 3 city MPs, 1 former MP, 1 person from the presidency, then 2 people from the party.
Oh, okay.
So it was a tripartite committee, and they constitute the National Vetting Committee. So when you go, they have the NIB report, they have the Global Info Analytics report, they have the Regional Vetting Committee report. Then you come and stand before them. So they know you're standing. Then you come and stand before them. They ask you questions. They check. The BNI will bring your criminal report and all those kind of things. So they vet you and award marks.
Oh, okay.
This person had 400. This person had 385. This person had 380. This person had you understand? So the records are there with the marks awarded. So and clearly it has insulated me from further blame, further influences,
further lobbying.
So now I'm having time to concentrate on the local government work. Where the vetting committees. As I speak to you, they have done about 11. They are on the 11th region.
Oh, okay.
So within the next week or 2, they will finish.
All right. And by the end of the month,
the first report has already been submitted.
Okay. And then by the end of the month, we should have our.
We are not going to end of the month. Is that
you say you have up to the end of the month, so.
And I'm saying that by the end of the month they will finish for. I don't want it to cross by 31st.
Okay.
But the president already has the first report.
Okay.
As I speak to you, he has already has the first report. He's going through. I don't want to tamper with the report. So myself, I said when you finish, finish your work, whatever, because you can't give work to somebody like Fifi Kwete, say don't get your Valerie Soya, and say you are going to. Why are you going to change again? If you could have done your work, you could have done it yourself. Is that not the case? Yeah. So let's be factual to ourselves. And the human factor in manipulating things doesn't bring peace. And we need peace. If you are lucky to be one of the 3 and you don't get it, that doesn't mean the world should end. So tomorrow it may be your turn. So
there's no truth in stories we hear about bribery here and there.
People, who can you bribe?
People taking
that money. Is why I say that unbribable team. Can you bribe Dr. Valerie Soya, somebody who is herself has been deputy chief of staff? I say don't get here, who has been this? Who are you going to bribe? Is it me? Me if you come and give me money, what can I do for you? I'm not a member of the committee. Okay, unless you go to the presidency. If you yourself, you can go and stand before President Mama that you are going to bribe him, go. You'll be arrested at the gate.
Just a quick one. I mean, concerning the Musa Dankwa report thing that you talked about, was the president actually one with the 56.55%?
Precisely.
Yes. And then that for Dr. Bawumia was 41.6%.
Exactly. But, and these were figures at that time, before we went to the December 7. Would you have believed this?
No, obviously.
These things were told us at Voter Serene Hotel in February 2024 that we were going. So that's, you could see the confidence level of the minority leadership. There are two forces leadership, and we were happy. We said, okay, then July, let's do another one. When Paul Adumochere and co were insulting Musa Dangwa, we were calling for more of such polls to help us to be able to, you know, when you do polls,
you know your stance.
You know your stance, and you know where you are falling short and what. So when we were doing this, they were, Musa Dangwa, what is this? Musa Dangwa, what is this? This is rubbish.
Well, as you said, you don't want this to cross beyond the 31st of March. So let's see what actually happens. Does it mean that you will revisit the whole election of MMDCs?
Yeah, that is part of our. As they are doing this, we are forming a legislative reforms committee that will be in charge of the legislations. You know, the Act 936 was passed in 2016. It need to be, certain things need to be amended.
Yes.
Then the Chieftaincy Act, Section 63D, also need to be amended.
936 is the local government act.
936 will be amended, and the Chieftaincy Act also will be amended. Then the election of MMDC, the constitution itself, and there's a constitutional review committee, and it was in our manifesto. And Ghanaians have given us 184 MPs, 83 MPs. We have almost 2/3 majority. So we will have no excuse in 2028 if we don't amend the constitution to make election of MMDC per the NDC manifesto. Because once they endorse our manifesto, it means they've accepted President Mahama's choice of non-partisan election of MMDC.
That's true.
And that is what we are going to do.
Okay. By partisan?
Non-partisan.
Non-partisan.
President Mahama said non-partisan. In the manifesto, it's non-partisan. And you know, I was in Parliament when Anadu brought it.
Yes.
As for the election of MMDCs, both parties agreed
to it.
And we said we could only support on non-partisan basis.
Yes.
And said, if you will not support on partisan, then I won't let you do it. Then he took it back. That's what happened in Parliament.
Okay.
So if he had meant the election, for the election we both agreed. But he said, if we will not give him the chance to do it on partisan basis, he won't accept.
But are we not behaving as ostriches? I mean, don't we know that even at that level, there's some bit of partisanship in there? So saying that we should be non-partisan.
No.
Then that means there should be partisan, but not quite.
The point is, the cause came from the strongholds of the two parties.
To be non-partisan.
To be the NDC in voter region didn't agree.
Okay.
And the MPP in Ashanti region didn't agree.
Okay.
You know, when you are making laws, the law is not confined to only you in the chamber doing the delete and insert. When you are making laws, you have to open the window and be listening to the people. What do you want? What should we do? So the people in the window, they were for the partisan and non-partisan. And their reasons were this. NDC is in power now. NDCs in Ashanti region have the opportunity to be DCs. When MPP is in power, MPPs in voter region have the opportunity to be DCs.
Yes.
So if now you people are saying that you are going to make it on partisan basis, then it means there's no MPP person in voter region who will get the opportunity to be DCE.
Yeah.
You understand? These were their reasons. Then the same thing, if you say on partisan, it means that there's no NDC man in Ashanti region who will have the opportunity to be DCE. These were their problems. And as a lawmaker, you must listen. There is the wisdom in their. You will not be a lawmaker for life. There are lawmakers who later becomes DCEs.
That's true.
So when you have the opportunity, you must think of your brother too.
We have a very big problem as a country, which is got to do with sanitation.
Yeah.
And it's been very difficult for previous administration to actually even work around it. I know in the NDC manifesto you talked about a National Sanitation League table. What's your plan in terms of sanitation and making sure that not only Accra but the entire country is clean?
As I speak to you, I've met in my few days in the office. I've met with the sanitation stakeholders.
Oh, okay.
I've met with AMA, I've met with Kokma, I've met with Gamma, I've met with the erstwhile directors of the Ministry of Sanitation, and I've met with even the former Minister for Sanitation, the former local government.
Have you met with Zoom Lion?
I've met with Zoom Lion and his team.
Okay.
I've met with all of them, and I've constituted a team for the National Sanitation Day.
Okay.
Which is likely to be on the 5th of April. That's next month 5th, the first Saturday in April.
Okay.
And they are working towards it. You put that one aside. It's when you do the National Sanitation Day, then you institute a National Sanitation League, and there will be parameters and criteria for assessment. If the league is not just going to be name and shame, and both are in the NDC manifesto. So there will be National Sanitation Day, which will be first Saturday of every month.
Okay.
And there will be a National Sanitation League, which will be a sanitation competition among all the MMDCs. So if it happens that your district is last, the sanitation day is last, then you the DCE there, whether you pass global info, you pass NIB, or you pass as you don't get your committee, you have no business being there.
Oh. Okay.
So the sanitation is going to be held on.
So it's not just the table.
Not just the table.
But at least people will be punished and even rewarded.
People will be punished.
Oh, okay.
So if we want the DCEs to own sanitation as a project, but it's part of your function. Previously, it was not given to you. It was given to the Minister of Sanitation. You said they should give it to you, and the President has given it to you.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, you have no business being there.
Okay.
So that is how we are going. So on April 5th, there's going, and we will come. There's a program that the team is putting. We'll partner the media houses. So we'll come to GTV. We'll go to the other media houses. Then we'll see what role can you also play. And that thing is oncoming.
Okay.
There will be jingles, there will be slogans, and this and that will be played. I don't want to preempt what they are.
You have plans for the Odo River?
Yesterday we were there.
Okay.
You know, the president has tasked the Minister for Western Housing and the Minister for Local Government to make sure that we do what we call anti-flood mitigation thing. We did helicopter area view of the flood-prone areas, and yesterday we went with the road visit of the flood-prone areas. And the Odo River is one of the areas we went to circle. And let me tell you, we keep on deceiving ourselves as Ghanaians.
Okay.
If they give you work, do it. If they give me work, I must do it. The contractors who were giving the work abandoned the work.
Because?
You can't say it was because of lack of, because that's Garrett. It was a World Bank funded project.
Yes.
And this is one reason why we fought in Parliament. They were giving 200 million. And that 200 million, they chop it.
Who chop it?
The government, the former administration, didn't spend the money on it. And we pushed them, they said they used $65 million on COVID. Then we said the money was meant for the Odo River. And you are saying you use $65 million of it on COVID. And they went back to the World Bank for additional financing. And the World Bank gave them $150 million. And they brought that to Parliament. And we said they should come and justify how they spent the 200. Because you were given 200 million for the same assignment. You didn't use it for it. What is the guarantee that the $150 million you are going for, you will use it on it? So per now, if you are going to assess the Odo River, between 2018, 2019 to date, $350 million have been given to on the Odo River. So the question is, what did we do and what are we doing? That's why we went there yesterday. And when you go there, they've positioned one machine there, they are not working. And you will laugh. So when we got there, we didn't tell them we were going there. We said we were going to Kaswa, we were going to Odona, we were going to Achimota, we were going to Malan Junction, that place too. So when we finished, the chairman of the committee, Standobo, said we should go to. And you could see that plans change. So when you see faces of some people, it was because if we had told them that we were coming there, he would have positioned the people, he would have told the contractor to come. But because he didn't tell us, so when we said we must go there, you will cry. So when they saw us, then one person just jumped into the machine. And then the second youth came to us. Masa omubua omunye adwuma no. Muba ya se see no go free omubua masa omunye adwuma no. Youth must do the force them to do the work. The Ghanaian people who are working at Circle want the job to be done.
Yes.
World Bank Bronia Maeska se fakoye adwuma no. And you are not doing the work. And the money is not Ghana cedis, so $350 million. So the people say so who are you deceiving? The World Bank or your father?
Are you going to do an audit of that project?
Oh, I know. Yesterday, Standube was very furious.
Okay.
And I know he will take action on that thing. So, and the Western, myself and the Western Housing Minister and Standube. So we must make sure that job is done.
Okay.
That's one of our.
I have 3 questions for you that we can wrap it up. No First of all, there's a message coming from one of our listeners. That when would this election be? An election of the MMDCs? I know you talked about.
Even if you pass the law,
yes,
the election of MMDCs cannot be within these 4 years. It must be after the next the end of tenure of this.
Of this, so okay. Any reason? Or is it due to the parliamentary process?
No, you know, once you do the constitutional review, there are other aspects that you have to go do a referendum. And all these things cannot happen with this shortest possible time. If I tell you, oh, we are going to change the law to do the election, I may be lying to Ghanaians, which I shouldn't do.
All right.
So Ghanaians must bear with us. All the necessary legislative processes can be done within these 4 years. Then the elections will take over. But I don't know. As the Constitutional Review Committee is consulting Ghanaians, Ghanaians can also be of the view that once the laws are changed and everything is done, maybe in the next general election we can include the MMDC. You are going to vote for your DC, your MP, and your president. Maybe that thing too can. But that will depend on what Ghanaians and the Constitutional Review Committee will say over there. But as for the power to do the elections, we will shepherd changing the law. Making sure that the law says that the next DC who will come there must be elected and not appointed. So the next president will not come to power by coming to appoint DCs and all those kind of things.
Okay, all right. And then the second question has got to do with chieftaincy issues. What's going to be your plan in resolving some of the challenges we have within our chieftaincy domain? Yes, they are agents of development too.
This afternoon, I'll be meeting a cross section of lawyers.
Okay.
And the problem is that the lawyers for the chieftaincy ministry are demotivated. Their conditions of service is nothing home to write on. So they've tasked me to talk to the Attorney General. Either they will be on secondment to the Attorney General and be receiving similar conditions of service like their colleagues in the Attorney General and Ministry of Justice, so that they will be able to attract the caliber of lawyers that we need to be able to help the houses of the judicial committees in the various houses of chiefs, so that they will not be bullied or they will not be thrown out sometimes by the other lawyers and those kind of things. There's job to be done there, and that is what we are working on.
And then my final question has got to do with religious issues. You think at least religion should be controlled in Ghana?
Religion could not be controlled in the pre-Christ and Christ days. And that is why in the Bible there was a legal luminary, Gamaliel, who said, you live in. If it is from, say, Frere Radia Bejna, in Frere Radia Engina. So if Gamaliel could not control this, who is Ahmed?
So you want it just to continue? If it's from God, it will stand. If it's not from God, it will
actually of the word that you use,
controlled.
I wonder because of the challenges. If you can change the word control, then
what? Should religion be managed?
But it can be peer regulated.
Okay.
Peer regulated because the problem that you want to solve, because of that you are using the word control. can be
It's actually a problem that not only me, but the police also wanted to solve that problem, and others also want to solve that problem.
There's a policeman who doesn't go to church, so if you give him the power that he should control the church, he will close down all the churches. we did 1 hour.
Or you like to go the Kigami way?
No, the Kigami way too, I will not go for it. You see, yeah, Kigami is doing something good in Rwanda, but you can't compare Rwanda to Ghana.
Agreed.
So people just choose Kigali and they say, oh, Rwanda is this, Rwanda is this. No. Look, Ghana, because of our decentralized concept, and that's why we have this Ghanaian hospitality and the kind of culture and the lifestyle that we have. Almost the whole world, everybody envies Ghana's culture.
I agree.
So to say that we should Kigali is concentrating on only Rwanda, Kigali in Rwanda, leaving the other. If you leave the Asker, you say no.
Okay.
By Ghana, we are doing balanced development. That's what our constitution stands for.
Okay.
Then you come back to the regulation of religion. What we will go for is that every church should belong to one of the groups.
Okay.
If you are a Pentecostal, you must belong to the Ghana Pentecostal churches. If you are charismatic, Ghana Charismatic Council Church. If you are Orthodox, Ghana Christian Council and all those things. So that those the regulations that body will make, they will be regulating you.
Okay.
But not an external body. Well, I was the MP in Parliament who stood against it and he couldn't stand.
Okay.
When they made one MP brought a statement that they, in the previous administration, they wanted to bring a law to regulate churches and say, ask Masukwe Pakukwe, are you going to legislate against the Holy Spirit? Ask him this question.
That's a good question.
I asked him 3-4 questions. By the time I finished, he said, Honorable Member, the statement has been referred to the Youth and Culture Committee, and that ended it. Right. When he referred it, I knew that, my winning case.
Right.
It has never stood. So the point is, yes, the one-man churches, and I asked him, which church didn't begin with one man? Well, I'm a church member of Pentecost.
I get that.
Pentecost, we know that it was Apostle McKeown.
I get
so
that.
if McKeown had been stopped, would Pentecost be Pentecost today?
Okay.
Then the Methodists, the Presby, Charles Dunwell, and
Charles Wesley and
John Wesley and those.
John Wesley,
if John Wesley has stopped, would there be that church? If Charles Dunwell has stopped, would have been. So it's clearly one man started it, but with time it is big. It doesn't mean that what one man is starting today will not be big tomorrow. But the one man who is starting it today must belong to a group.
Okay.
When Apostle McKeown was starting it, it was a Pentecostal council that he belonged to. And that's why we have the Ghana Pentecostal Council. Okay. Duncan Williams, we have the Charismatic Council. Okay. And then at the point we have the Ghana Pentecostal and Charismatic Council. So it's like, at least if you are starting one man church, you must belong to, so that they will give you the regulations that these are the rules of this our association. So when you err, they will take care of you. It's like going to the military.
Okay.
If you are in the military, they have their court martial and they have their guard room. So if you break some of the rules of the military, they will not bring you to police station. They will not send you to go, but they have their court there. So they will judge you there. Then when you come to parliament, they say we have parliamentary immunity, but we have the privileges committee. So if I go as to the privileges committee, will deal with me. This is to make sure that they protect the image of parliament. They protect the image of the military. They protect the image of the Pentecostal. They protect the image of the charismatic church. That's the way to go. But to say there's an omnibus independent, which independent in Ghana is independent?
All right. Thank you very much, Ahmed Ibrahim. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you, my brother.
Talking to you.
Thank you.
Have a good day, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, my brother.
All right. The program is still focused. Stay with us. Our final conversation. It's going to be about the law. It's going to be about the special prosecutor, and it's going to be about the former finance minister. We'll be right back.